Hello, and welcome back to Doomed, solo playthroughs through Arkham Horror the card game with a focus on roleplay and storytelling. And today, the second scenario in Return to Path to Carcosa, The Last King, which we're very excited about. For those of you watching on the VOD, you'll notice, you won't know that I actually restarted this, but those of you watching live will, because we are streaming live on Twitch right now at this very instant. So don't mind the crosstalk, or perhaps enjoy the crosstalk as we experience Sefina Rousseau's story as she takes on the Last King. I shouldn't say this, and I'm gonna say this. I'm quite optimistic. I can't even take myself seriously. Doomed has a some would call it a poor track record in terms of wins and losses, but of course, you know, this game isn't about winning or losing. It's about telling a great story and hopefully not losing the entire universe to some sort of horrific beast. I mean, that's the hope, but there's not, you know, there's not tons we can do about it all the time. For those of you watching live, let me know about levels, sound, etc. And I hope we all enjoy ourselves. Is there anything else I need to say before we get into it? I don't think too much. For those of you watching this from the future, you already know this, but stay safe and stay well. It's a crazy place out there, and I'm hoping we can offer, you know, a little bit of, not levity so much, but just an escape. Storytelling for us all to do together that does not involve, I don't know, pandemics and inequality and things that we need to fight against, certainly, but today we are taking on forces well beyond our control, things we can't affect beyond our own abilities. At any rate, let's get into it. Let's get doomed. Welcome to Return to the Last King. I don't think I've quite made it clear yet how much I enjoy this scenario. I am, as those people who watch Doomed would know, a relative neophyte when it comes to this sort of thing. This sort of thing being Arkham Horror, the card game. Oh, hi Zesty, what's going on? Yes, Zesty, if there was ever an Arkham Horror scenario or campaign that focused on, like, sweet rock musicians that just had to, like, you know, rock some sweet riffs and, like, whatever to defeat the demons, you know I'm into that sort of thing. I would be lining up at the door, okay? Arkham Hero. Well, we're not playing a musician. We are playing a painter. I will say there are a couple of musicians in the investigator lineup. I haven't played any of them on Doomed yet. There's a jazz trumpet musician, and there's a violinist, both of which decidedly not particularly rockin', but depends on how cool you are with both, I suppose. I'm really excited about the scenario. I really like it for a variety of reasons. I think it's well designed, I think it's fun, I think it's cool. Most importantly, it takes place at a theater cast party at, like, a super fancy place. And most of you probably know I am a theater person, so I've been to these cast parties before, not with quite so much horrific, without so many horrific results. Yeah, that's right. So we've got Sef here, the painter. We know about her abilities and so on. I've spent some of her experience through her experience at the Ward Theater in Curtain Call. She has been immediately made aware that there are creatures on this earth that are well beyond the Zesty. It's so true. So now I just need a Batman Arkham crossover. Arkham Asylum. Anyway. So Zesty, tune in a couple of episodes, because if we make it there, which we will, there is a scenario in this very campaign in which we go to Arkham Asylum. And it's technically not the same Arkham Asylum, but it's like the insane asylum in Arkham. It's just, I guess it would be before Batman, because this takes place in, like, the 1920s. That's actually really interesting. I wonder if they are meant to be the same place. I'm getting beside myself here. Behind myself? I'm getting... Okay, doesn't matter. Sef has taken mental trauma from her experience at the Ward Theater. As I was saying before, the creatures that she encountered there, some of them relatively common, some of them decidedly less so, has started to tell her that she's not in Kansas anymore or in Arkham anymore. Her experience painting the strange alien landscape, these spires, oceans, skies, and then being pulled through into those alien landscapes, was not a one-off thing. She knows that there's some sort of link between the symbol in Ward Theater and the King in Yellow and her experience. Arkham. Well, Zesty, now I demand some sort of, what do they call those? Like an alpha. Yeah, demand a prototype game, please. Arkham. Where you play as, I guess, maybe you play as pigs? I don't know. Arkham fisted. At any rate, I have many drinks here. Don't forget to hydrate, everybody who's watching Doomed. Even if you're watching it in the future, you still need water in the future. And if you don't, congratulations. That's really cool, Zesty. You should tell us about that. Tell everyone in the chat, or whatever. Okay. So, we've got our Seth here, we've got our deck. I have hydrate or dihydrate. Hey, look, you gotta do what you gotta do, Zesty, I understand. I spent some experience, as I mentioned. We'll probably see some of it. I upgraded my Leo DeLucas. I got another card, and I got adaptable, because Sefina Rousseau is adaptable. She can swap into whatever kind of outfit or mentality is needed for anything. You know, she was just a painter attendant in a theater, but now she's going into high society. So, adaptable as a card basically lets you switch out level 0 cards between games without taking experience to do so, which is interesting because you'd think that wouldn't cost experience, but it does. You can't change your deck after you've built it without spending experience to either upgrade or switch cards. Adaptable lets you do that. We're going to use that to great effect today because we switched out for some cards that we desperately need. This is the house. We'll get there in a second, but we're going to start in the foyer. There's a courtyard, a ballroom, a dining room, a gallery, the living room. All great places. All great places, great stuff to do. Did I set the Chow's bag? I did, that's good. Let's read the scenario 2, The Last King. Hello, Aravana. We're not dead yet, don't worry, Aravana. Everything is bon. If anyone has the answers to the questions that burn in your mind, it's the cast and crew of The King in Yellow. Other than that one stranger who was wearing the pallid mask, obviously, because it was the actor, but we don't think he's going to be here because that might not have been a human person. We're not sure. With no other leads to pursue, you put on your best clothes and head to 1452 Atlantic Avenue, where a woman named Constance Dumaine is hosting an event in celebration of the play's one-night engagement in Arkham. Classic actors, am I right? They're like, well, we'll just do a one-off and then we'll have a big party. The joke is that actors love to party. Yeah, actually it's not really a joke, it's just it's just kind of the truth. Okay, in terms of setup, I just want to mention a few things here. Ooh, okay, hang on, Zesty, I'm gonna read this here really quick. So for those watching on the VOD, well, whatever, you can see it on the side there. It's limited access to queuing on a board where you need to complete tasks. Ooh, I haven't decided if it's on a submarine or a spaceship. Well, submarines are terrifying, spaceships are also terrifying, but decidedly more sci-fi, so more action-adventure-y, I think by default. So that's a tonal thing for you, although obviously you can have an action show on a submarine, and anyway. It sounds really cool, Zesty. Reminds me a bit of, I can't remember what they're called now, but there's a couple of games that happen in real time on a spaceship, so you have to spend real time with egg timers and so on, hourglasses, kind of doing tasks with teammates and trying to survive. It's a lot of fun. I can't remember what it's called, though. In our scenario 2, The Last King, we have to shuffle 5 bystanders, distribute them, and then place 2 clues on each. What does that mean, bystanders? Well, these are the people that Sefina Rousseau hopes to interview. I'm just going to shuffle them up and distribute them at random. Oh, hi, Chardon. Yeah. So, Chardon, tabletop so I want to just make mention of this, actually. I think this is a good time to make mention of it. Tabletop Simulator has lots of games that you can play with people, and lots of mods that you can download that introduce multiplayer and or single-player games. This is an incredible mod that was made, Arkham Horror, the Super Complete Edition. Unfortunately, it is no longer being maintained. It was taken down by FFG, who owns the rights to the game, which is really too bad, really unfortunate in my opinion. But because I had subscribed to it beforehand, it still works up to a certain point. Yeah. Really. Anyway, so take a look though, because there's something for everybody, I think, in terms of mods and stuff that are being built, whatever games you want to play. Okay, I'm gonna distribute these bystanders now. Basically, we're gonna at random figure out what rooms they're all in. I'm not looking, I'm looking right at you, viewers. This person's going here, this person's going here, this person's going here, this person's going here, and this person's going over here. Boom. So, let's just take a quick little look-see. Up in the courtyard, Sebastian Moreau, the impassioned producer. In the ballroom, of course, there's Ashley Clark, the talented entertainer. She's singing. Up here in the dining room, Ishimaru Haruko, the costume designer. My, what a bold choice of dress, she said. Giving you the side eye, probably. Over here in the living room, we've got Jordan Perry, the dignified financier. He seems to be enjoying his chaise longue. And up in the gallery, of course, the sociable hostess, Constance Dumaine. These are, and I have to put clues on all of them, these are the people we need to try to interview, and we'll read the agenda in the act so we know a bit more about what's going on. If you do have questions about Arkham Horror, the LCG, let me know. I'm happy to throw in on answering them as we go. This is part of a series where I play Arkham Horror, the card game, with a focus on role-playing and storytelling, but I'm super happy to answer questions, and I will probably be explaining as we go as well. But let's get into it, folks. What is this? Oh, that's something else. Agenda 1A. Better late? Whoop. I misread it because it's funnier that way. Agenda 1A. Better never than late. Yeah. As you pull up to the manor, you notice that something is wrong. A trail of blood leads up the porch steps, and the front door is smashed. Muted music comes from within the house. Its warped and discordant notes painful to your ears. Yeah, Zesty. Zesty, it's a creepy one. I don't know if you should just maybe check on it or something. Has the madness of the King in Yellow already knocked things over in your cupboard? Has already made its way here? 3 doom before it advances. Act 1A, Discovering the Truth. This isn't a party. It's a madhouse. But for some reason, the guests are too deluded to notice. Very few of them are sane, and many are themselves horrors to your eye. Perhaps you can talk to them to learn more about the King in Yellow. So, forced, when an investigator is eliminated. So, if Seth is defeated or resigns, all of their clues go on to the act, instead of just dropping on the floor. So everything that they've gathered up to that point goes towards a running total. We're playing solo, so it's just us, so this doesn't really matter here. Objective, find as many clues as you can and then get out of this awful place. Gotta find some clues. Before we reveal our location, we gotta draw our opening hand. I think we're about ready. Are we? I'll have a little sip here. Sefina has pulled up to the door. She's ready to climb the stairs, noticing, of course, that the door has been smashed and horrific sounds are coming from inside. Like a wild, crazed animal party in there. She doesn't quite know what she's going to be confronting when she goes in, but she needs to be ready for anything. Let's draw our opening hand. Let's get doomed. 1. Sefina draws 13 cards. That's a weakness. We don't draw that. And then places up to 5 events beneath her and discards down to 8. If necessary. I lost count because I was talking. That's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Let's count again. 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 13. Fantastic. And a bunch of events. I'm going to put the events, they're beneath her. I'm going to put them up here so that I just know where they are. One of these, one of those. Ideally, you want a bunch of unique events, right? Because you don't want to have to... Yeah, you don't want to have to double up on things. It seems not as useful. Okay, that's 5, and then we keep the remainder. Now, unfortunately, the card I really want is not in my opening hand, but Sefina cannot mulligan. Just a little bit rough. Let's see what else we've got here. We start in the foyer. The entrance hall is lavishly decorated, displaying the wealth of the manor's owners while still creating— that's Constance Dumaine, the hostess— while still creating a welcoming atmosphere. "Shall I take your coat?" the doorman asks as you enter. It takes a moment before you realize the doorman has only bloody stumps, where he should have hands. This is a 2-shroud, 1-clue location, and I can resign from here. Having found valuable information about the production, you depart and plan your next move. So, first action, resign, and we just end the scenario. Just kidding, I wouldn't do that. There is a clue on this location, and we're starting off. Okay, so unfortunately I didn't start with either of the assets that I really want. I'm wondering if I should just start drawing cards, or if I should try to go and find something to do while I wait for them to be drawn naturally. Jordan Perry I can talk to if I have lots of money, because he's the financier. Constance, I have to use my intellect to talk to her, so that's not going to happen. Sebastian, I can use my willpower. That feels okay. Ashley, I just have to listen to her perform. And then Ishimaru, I have to have 6 or more cards in hand, which I definitely do. So maybe we should do that first. I could move up there and test. And if it drops... oh, and I can throw in some watch this. Yeah, that might be a good place to start, actually. Normally, I feel like I often approach the scenario by going to one person and getting all their clues and finding out what they're about, but staying close to the front in case things get really hairy and you can just kind of take off. I'm at a bit of a crossroads, as is Sefina, because she doesn't have any of the things she really needs. I could just draw a whole bunch, try to find them. I don't think that's as necessary though, so what I'm going to do... Sefina arrives at the front door, sees the bloody stumps of the butler at the door. The doorman taking her coat, and she goes, "No, that's all right." And draws it a bit further around herself. She's gonna make a beeline for the person that she feels might know the most. And this is gonna sound strange because you'd think that would be a producer or a director or hype man or whatever. She's heard of Ishimaru Haruko, the costume designer. She also, in visiting the rehearsal room in the Ward Theater, saw her name listed many times, and might be able to use, or might be able to find out from her what's going on with the costuming for the man in the pallid mask. Who is he? Why does he still have his mask? What does the mask represent? Maybe she knows about the symbol. These are all important things. Also, it's the dining room, and not that Sefina's particularly hungry, but maybe it's a good idea. So she's making a beeline, 1-2 actions to move there. She's making a beeline for the dining room. We pass through the ballroom, though. The distorted music grows louder as you approach the ballroom. Inside, many of the guests are dancing, eating, and enjoying themselves. This is a 4-shroud, 1-clue location. After you perform a parlay, gain 2 resources. Maybe I should stop to listen to Ashley Clark. No, we should continue. We're going to continue. Seth pauses briefly to listen to the music in the ballroom, but then she continues on, hunting for Haruko. Hunting for Haruko. The rancid smell of rotten food wafts under the dining room door, and you barely avoid losing your lunch. That's not as good, obviously. This is a 2-shroud 0-clue location. You can heal a horror, and then randomly see if you have to take some horror and some doom. The sight of the guests scarfing down the awful feast, mouthful after mouthful, makes your stomach turn. In the dining room, Ishimaru Haruko is standing against one of the walls, laughing and chatting with a few people. On the table before them spread out is an absolute feast of rotting flesh and old moldy vegetables and fruit, rancid wine, and the smell is enough to make your stomach turn. Sefina is just, she needs to know what's going on so she can get out of here as quickly as possible. She's gonna walk, she's gonna grab a hunk of meat right off the table. A hunk of meat. She's a bit fancier than that, let's be real here. She's gonna grab a little plate full of moldy grapes and walk straight up to Ishimaru Haruko and start chatting her up. We're going to parlay. I have 6 or more cards in my hand, so I'm gonna test willpower 2 and see what I can find out from her. I have 4 willpower. I'm gonna throw in this watch this, which gives me 1 more, and this quick thinking. Let's do it. I'm just going all in on this. Sefina is absolutely just taking over the room. She walks in, and despite her stomach doing somersaults, she is absolutely just gonna light up the room with her smile, her laugh as she talks to Ishimaru. A classy lady tearing into a pork joint like a 50-year-old hobo. Hey, oh hey. Oh, Zesty. Sefina's a classy lady, okay? Look at this. Look at this painter. She's classy. So I have 6 willpower, and I'm testing against 2. -1, so I pass by 3. So, I have to actually commit the resources. Whoops. Watch this says spend up to 3 resources. If you succeed by 1 or more, gain twice that many. Thank you, I will. So I'm rich now. And so she steals some money off the, no, I'm just kidding. And quick thinking says, if this skill test is successful by 2 or more, you immediately take an action as if it were your turn. I mean, it is my turn, but I'm gonna take another action. Boom! So, having walked into the room and just lit it up with a smile and a laugh and pretending to be buddy-buddy with Ishimaru, the costume designer is ecstatic. Finally, someone up to her standards of dress. My, what a bold choice of dress, she says. And they chat. Sefina is going to now attempt to bring up the play, the King in Yellow, but specifically the strange symbol she's seen everywhere. Using my quick thinking extra action, I'm gonna test again. I have 4 willpower against the 2 of the test. Elder sign. Okay, it's going good, folks. That's a big +3, so it's a huge success. And you may choose an event beneath your card and draw it. I think I will, actually. And I'm gonna take Think on Your Feet. Is that what I want? Yeah. Yeah, I'm good at thinking on my feet. So I'll take the other clue off Ishimaru. She is chatty, and she is absolutely ecstatic to be talking to someone as classy as Sefina. When the last clue is removed, flip this card over. In speaking with Miss Ishimaru, you discover that she designed all the costumes worn in tonight's performance, save for one. That's Stranger character. Peculiar role, is it not? For whatever reason, Mr. Engram would not allow me to change his outfit, not one bit. And that mask! She scoffs. Did you know, one time I found that actor, I don't even know his name. I found him drawing a strange pattern behind the backdrop for the second act. You know, the one with the 2 suns. He gave me a terrible stare, and I dare say I jumped right off the stage and ran. I love that. I found the actor writing something on the back of the set, and, well, it was weird, but I didn't tell anybody. Okay. You ask what the pattern looked like, and she finds a nearby napkin and begins to draw. Her recreation is much more detailed than you expected. Rings of concentric semicircles lined with strange runes, and at the center, a pair of wavy lines. You ask her what it means, and she shrugs. Haven't the slightest clue. Remember that you interviewed Haruko. Flip this card back over. Okay, so we talked to her. Great. What a great first turn. Congratulations, everyone. Everything is bon. We next proceed to the enemy phase, but of course there are no enemies here. Everyone's a friend. We're gonna draw a card and gain a resource. Word of Protection. I need to start putting some of these cards down on the table. Actually, more importantly, I need certain cards on the table. We've got 2 clues, and the goal, if we recall, is to find as many clues as you can and get out of this awful place. So, now that she's spoken with and schmoozed with Ishimaru, she's gonna get the hell out of this dining room, because that is a horrific place to be. Don't forget to hydrate. As always, let me know, viewers, if things are feeling good for you in terms of sound, in terms of everything else? I want to make sure I can hear the music too. Oh, too loud. Okay, we proceed to the Mythos phase. We go to 1 out of 3 Doom, and we draw our first encounter card of the scenario. Is it something good? Is it something bad? Oh, it's fine. It's a party. Oh, it's fine. Wow, look at this fancy person. Got a cute dress, cute little feather in the hair. This is an asset. It's not even an enemy. Revelation. Damn it, Zesty. Hey, you do you, okay? We're all here to have fun. Find the bystander asset with the most clues on it. Put the party guest into play at that asset's location. Investigators can't talk with bystander assets at party guest location. Spend 2 resources to parlay and then move the party guest away. I have to find the bystander with the most clues. That's either Ashley, Sebastian, Jordan, or Constance. So this party guest basically is taking up all of Constance Dumain's time, and you can't. You have to pay her to get out of there. You have to use some of your precious time and resources to get the party guest to move out of the way so you can actually speak with this person. But it's okay. Maybe we won't need to speak to Constance. Maybe. That's our Mythos phase. Perfectly harmless. We're back to the investigation phase. So I suppose what I could do is just move and listen to Ashley once. And again, I'm not playing cards, which is a little unfortunate, but it's not the worst either. Please leave, just here. Here's $20, all right? I know you're not that rich. I mean, look at your dress. Goodbye. Exactly. I'm only half kidding, folks. Only half. So, we have some choices. We can head down to the ballroom and start listening to Ashley Clark. You have to spend time listening to her sing to interview her, which sounds weird. We can go... this person right here. Ouch. I mean, it's actually a beautiful dress. That's super mean. I can go into the courtyard and speak to the impassioned producer. Testing Will 3 is a little more challenging. It's not impossible by any stretch of the imagination. But I'm waiting for certain cards, and I don't want to just keep drawing yet. So I think what I'm going to do, I can either play some stuff and then start drawing and be a bit more set up, or I can start to go, and I think I'm actually just going to play. So I'm going to... I'm going to play, he said. First action draw, weirdly. Sef wants to leave the dining room, but she's a bit stuck trying to figure out how best to proceed here at the party. Who does she want to interview next? First action draw, it's an emergency cache. Second action, I'm going to put down a lone wolf. Third action, I'm going to put down this pickpocketing, which, as you can imagine, at a party is usually a bit frowned upon, but also not the worst idea in the world. Excuse me. Sefina is standing here in the doorway to the dining room trying to get some fresh air from, like, outside of the room, but she's still contemplating where she wants to go. She is a lone wolf. She's ready to work alone, and she is ready to take whatever she needs in order to make this evening work. Again, in the enemy phase, there's no enemies, so we can just... I'll show it, but then we'll skip it. Move to Upkeep, where we would ready all of our assets, draw a card, and gain a resource. It's a Painted World. That's a great card. And I'm at 7, so... no, sorry, I can't count. I'm at 8. Full hand, so I gotta keep using cards. Move back to the Mythos phase. And I actually have to get going, because I feel like I need to actually do things in this scenario. Draw an encounter card right here in the dining room. It's another party guest! I'm gonna shuffle the encounter deck. Find the bystander with the most clues and put party guest into play there. Well, so I can choose who that is, because they all have 2. So I'd rather not put it... Oh, goodness gracious, Lemira's here. Well, that's excellent. Zesty, quick, one of those muted messages you've been raving about. I'm just kidding. I'm actually going to put the other party guest up here as well with Constance. I'm kind of thinking They're all tucked away in a corner, at least, in the gallery. So if something happens to them, at least they're all together. I don't know what that means exactly. But also, there's only so much time in the scenario, so, like, I'm probably not going to get over to Constance Dumaine. Ding! Myra, I'm very happy that you finished your meeting early. Congratulations, that's great news. I'll give you a quick recap, because nothing much has happened yet. We are here at the cast party for the King in Yellow, 1457 or whatever, Atlantic Avenue. We came into the foyer. There was a butler with no hands, because things are crazy in here. There's discordant music. There's weird screaming and growling sounds. There's manic guests. There's rotten food and being served in the dining room. But there are also cast and crew members of the King in Yellow. Sefina dashed into the dining room and took this huge charismatic presence, just lit up the room, interviewed successfully Ishimaru Haruko, the costume designer, and we got it. So the goal is to get as many clues as we can. So theoretically, you want to try to interview as many of these people as possible. There's also mixed up Uber Eats orders. Yeah, I know, zesty. It's tough. Anyway, so we drew another party guest. They are over here taking up all of... People are just flocking to the hostess. She's like, oh, help, I need to go see the rest of the guests. It's fine so far. Back to the investigation phase. Because I'm a lone wolf, I get a resource when my turn begins, which is also pretty bueno. Seth, what are you gonna do with all your cards? I have so many cards. What am I gonna do with them all? Hey, could buy a clue with intel report. I'm gonna save that for later. Sefina took a moment to compose herself. There are strange things happening in this house, but nothing overtly dangerous, at least as of yet. So the first action, she's gonna head back to where that mysterious singing was coming from before, in the ballroom. No, not mysterious singing, just intriguing singing. And she's going to spend 2 actions to listen to Ashley perform. So 1 action to move, 2 actions to listen to Ashley Clark and take a thing. However, in the ballroom, after you perform a parlay, gain 2 resources, which I will do. Narrow yellow eyes watch the dancers hungrily from the darkness outside. Wait, what? When you try to warn the other guests, they smile politely, comment about wild animal sightings around Arkham, and go back to dancing. Wait a second. That's not strange, that's just normal human behavior. Oh, monster eyes? I have heard tell of something like that in the news, but, well, aren't things just wonderful here in the ballroom? La 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 la. I feel like this scenario is like the Arkham version of Clue. Actually, it really is. There's 5 kind of like quote-unquote, they're not really suspects, but you know what I mean? Like, there's 5 quote-unquote people that you have to interview. There's like a ballroom, the dining room, the living room. It's great. La la la. That's the end of the investigation phase. Again, there's no enemies, so... Oh, huge. Lamyra, I was ashamed to admit to everybody not that long ago. Like, well, not ashamed, I guess, but I hadn't seen Clue until within the last few years. I don't even think I knew it existed for quite some time. And I'm like quite disappointed in myself for not having known that, because it was... RJ Cody, hello! Welcome to Doomed. I was going to do a whole spiel about what Doomed is, but you don't need that, RJ Cody. You're here for fun. Is that the truth? No, it's a vicious lie. Actually, I feel like I could. I feel like I could quote that movie. I also assistant directed a production of the stage version at a high school, albeit at a high school, so it's high schoolers rather than say like professional performers and stuff. But it was a great show, and the stage play was essentially the same as the film. So just such a like double whammy of knowing so many of those lines. Oh, just incredible. Okay, feel free to quote Clue. I'm not mad at it at all. Sefina is trying to warn the guests about the hungry animals outside in the courtyard, but she's also taken in by Ashley Clark, the entertainer. Her voice is beautiful and full of passion. If only you knew what the lyrics meant. Oh, Aravana, I know. Aravana. I played Red Alert 2 with Tim Curry before I saw Clue with Tim Curry. Like, let me put it that way, okay? I think that says a lot. I am. In the upkeep phase, we ready all of our resources, which we don't have to. We draw a card and gain a resource. And now I am over 9 cards in hand, so I will discard the other Lone Wolf because I no longer need it. Are things getting a little tense? I don't know, are they? We go to 3 out of 3 Doom, and we advance the agenda. This is Agenda 1B, the Guest of Honor. Oh, if it isn't our final guest, the doorman announces. Oh, where are my hands? Miss Divine, your presence here has been long awaited. The woman wears a devilish dress and similar grin. That's good. You swear you've seen the symbol on her amulet before. Well, now the real party can begin, she declares, and heads off to mingle with the other partygoers. I feel like that could have been a lot more Southern Belle. Let me try again. Well, now the real party can begin, she declares, and then heads off to mingle with the other partygoers. Find the bystander asset with the fewest clues on it. Son of a... Among bystanders with at least 1 clue. So that's Ashley. Spawn the set-aside Diane Divine at that asset's location. Shuffle Shocking Display into the encounter deck along with the discard pile. Nothing in the discard pile. Don't look at those. Don't look. We don't know what they do. So I'm adding cards to the encounter deck because it told me to, and I'm putting Diane Divine, hiding an oath unspoken. Well, oh my god, the subtitle gives everything away. She's even cultistrated. They're giving it away. Anyway, they're spawning her at the location. Let's read that again. Find the bystander with the fewest clues among bystanders that have at least 1 clue. So that's here with Ashley Clark. So Diane Divine sweeps up from the foyer into the ballroom, spotting Sefina and kind of ignoring her. She moves over to engage Ashley in conversation. Each investigator at Diane Divine's location cannot discover or take control of clues forced at the beginning of the enemy phase. Move Diane Divine to the asset with the fewest clues, at least 1. In other words, and this gets really crazy when there's more than 1 investigator trying to like chat up different people. Because, you know, one of your investigators might be really smart, and then we go talk to Constance Dumaine. One of them might be really rich, and they go and talk to Jordan Perry. You know, that sort of thing. Diane moves to the bystanders that have the fewest clues on them because she's trying desperately and sociably to prevent anyone from discovering the truth. So now that she's here, she's locked us from getting the last clue off Ashley Clark, which sucks, but there you have it. We're still in the myth. Oh, and I should read Agenda 2A. The terrifying truth. More and more, this place continues to fall into madness, transforming before your very eyes. Now, I don't know, nothing really horrible has happened yet, so it could be anything. When this agenda would advance by reaching its doom threshold, instead remove all the doom, randomly resolve a sickening reality card. If there are no cards underneath the scenario reference, advance instead. There are 8 sickening realities, which I'll just shuffle for good measure. And I can't tell you what they do, but every time we go to the end of this agenda, we draw a new one. I know, Lyra. Even before you got here, I was like, I'm actually feeling pretty confident. I feel like I have the tool. Didn't draw any of the tools I needed right off the bat. Horrible. I should actually probably draw harder. Anyway, it's the Mythos phase, and we have to draw an encounter card. Here it comes. We're in the ballroom. Diane Divine's just come in, swept into the room, looking graceful as ever, and is basically taking Ashley Clark aside to talk with her. Oh, this is fine dining. Ew. You don't want to arouse suspicion, but you really don't want to eat that. A masked server passes in front of Sefina with a few onstanders looking on, smiling at her, and offers her a plate of what looks to be maybe little livers. Oh, hi, Zen. You must either place one of your clues on a bystander or take a horror and a damage. F it, I'm taking a horror and a damage. I don't wanna, you can't have my clues. I need them. Oh, everyone's so happy to see Zen Robo, as am I. Hello, Zen. I'm hoping today's been okay for you, friend. We can take breaks here on Doomed. I can slow the descent into madness anytime I want. I hope today's been okay for you, friend, given the new restrictions here in Montreal. In that... No! It is. Not only that, Lamyra, I actually also have an alcoholic beverage here, which is green, so it's being green screened out because I'm a fool! Wild. If I can't see her, she might be behind me. Oh, Zen? Or is that Lamyra? Or is it me? Hello! I am here, and we will see each other again. In some kind of person. Oh, Lamyra, please. I am all about, I'm sure actually Zen might even have one too. She's all about the evening coffees. I'm really bad about that. Probably shouldn't have any after, like, you know, 3 p.m. or whatever. But them's the breaks, and here we are. Big hearts going out to... Can we get some hearts in chat for Zen and all us Montrealers? Why am I... There we go, that's what I was looking for. Boom! Ah, yes! Glass door! All day, day. Okay, guys, come on. I've been talking too much. I drew a card, it was fine dining, and then Sefina ate a bunch of weird livers and stuff. And it was gross, okay? It was gross. We're back to the investigation phase. Okay. A lot of cards in hand. So... No. What? Oh my goodness, what's happening? Lamyra, it's all good. Don't you worry about it. Don't you worry about it. I just also like to balance it with water and beer, apparently. It's important to stay hydrated, everybody. Oh, cool. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, so that's the next project around here as well. Fixing up this office so it's not quite as... What? This office? The one behind me? You can't see what I'm talking... Fixing it up so it's a bit more conducive to working from home as well, yeah. Okay. Enough talk. Sefina's got stuff to do. She really wanted to keep listening to Ashley's song, but with Diane there's nothing to do, so she has to reevaluate her plan. The clue in the foyer, I feel like we're just going to grab it on our way out. At some point, we're going to run in there. I think instead we need to go talk to Sebastian. Ugh, yeah, it's probably my best bet. He's a visionary, but you wouldn't want to be in his visions. This is the impassioned producer. Yeah, I feel like that's my best bet here. I can commit some icons to it, I guess, as well. Put down the shriveling, maybe, just so we have it. Yeah, well, okay, so first action move. Sefina's leaving the ballroom, trying to seek out someone else to speak to. Looking out one of the windows, you spy the courtyard in the center of the manor. You find yourself longing for fresh air. The heat inside the ballroom is becoming unbearable, and despite the yellow eyes she saw through the window earlier, Sefina thinks it might have just been a trick of the light. Say 5 Shroud 0 clue location. What was first a wave of relief upon exiting the manor, son of a gun turns to dread. Dozens of yellow eyes are staring at you from the building's rooftops, and shapes loom in the clouds above. Oh man. After you enter the courtyard, discard the top card of the encounter deck. If it is an enemy, draw it. Well, that's interesting. Not an enemy. I'm not even going to look at it. Not an enemy. Sorry, Cthulhu got into the chat. As a point of interest, Zesty, I keep on top of Arkham Horror news, even though I don't really play with the cards and don't have anyone really to play with in the city, but, Yay! I love it, Zen. The next expansion, which is coming out very soon, possibly even this week, the new deluxe expansion for Arkham, is the Innsmouth Conspiracy, based on a H.P. Lovecraft novel. But anyway, I believe it's the one that features Cthulhu, which is very exciting. Yeah. Aww. like to be touched by... Nope. Welcome back to Doomed, where Scott can't control himself. Okay, we're going to, I guess, put down... Should we test twice, or should we put down a card? Oh, thanks, Lamyra. Well, here's the thing, Lamyra. One could play sort of via this app, or game rather. And more importantly, actually, I did learn to play through a friend of a friend of mine. Friend of the show, Patrick Sklar, taught me, and he has a bigger collection of cards than I do. So we've played together, but now it's just less safe for us to get together, and y'all understand. Is that a printer that's printing spaghetti? It's weird. What's happening over there? Okay, we're here in the courtyard. Sebastian Moro, the impassioned producer, is declaiming things loudly to anyone who will listen. He might have had a few too many already. Copy this, pasta that. Mwah. I think I want to put down a card before I do anything else. Yeah. Sefina. Sefina Rousseau, our hero. Oh, that's delicious. This mysterious beer can is delicious. Beer can. Sefina seeing the strange eyes on the rooftops and out in the dark, and getting a sense that there are dangerous, mysterious, eerie things happening at this party, flexes her muscles and is... I did! It's actually the British... Yeah, no, I'm with you. She flexes her muscles and is reminded of the arcane power that she was able to somehow channel magically just through her fingertips in the ward theater in order to melt the flesh of the strange emissary creature that was there. And she is relieved to find that that power has not left her, although she's not quite sure how it's controlled, but, you know, there you have it. Last action, I am not going to test with Sebastian. I'm going to just play this emergency quiche, as some people call it. That was a good investigation phase. Wow, great job, everybody. In the enemy phase, so Seth checks and makes sure she still has a few things tucked away in the sort of like discreet pockets of her super gorgeous dress that she's wearing. She has a small switchblade. She has a few coins for distractions if necessary. She has one of her old paintbrushes, which she could potentially use quickly to, and some pencils and things that she could potentially use to sketch a vision that she has, if she has one. And she also has an old jar of paint, one of the colors used from painting the alien landscape so long ago. She's kind of carrying it as a channeler of her arcane powers. That's this in the courtyard. Sebastian Moro's just still talking out his ass over there. We move into Upkeep, we draw a card and gain a resource. It's Leo DeLuca. It's not literally Leo. It's not literally Leo DeLuca, the Louisiana Lion. It is the ghost of... No, this is Leo willing to offer his criminal aid. So I think I'll probably play that next turn. That sounds good. We move into the Mythos phase. Oh, sorry, during the enemy phase, I have to move Diane to the bystander with the fewest clues with at least one. So that's only Ashley. Basically what it means is any of these bystanders that I want to get clues off of, I have to get both of them in one turn, or else Diane's going to move to them. Which actually, now that I think about it, I kind of want to do that, so she moves, so I can move and listen to Ashley, and move back. That's kind of annoying. Anyway. In the Mythos phase, we go to... Uh-oh. Was I already at one? No, this is the first. Oh, shoot. Yeah. Yeah, I spawned Diane, and so I've placed a Doom. Yeah. Oh, man. It's like the first time I've, like, actively forgotten what's going on. It's fine. I'm pretty sure we're good. I don't think I have to place another one. Draw an encounter card out here in the courtyard. Uh-oh! Oh, God. Her eyes widened and she picked up the knife. Sefina is approaching Sebastian, hoping to speak with the gentleman. He's smiling broadly at everyone around them. Suddenly one of the guests laughs a little too loudly at the joke, turns around and sees Sefina coming. Her laugh turns into a maniacal grin. You know what? I'm okay to say this on the recording too. Thanks, Zen Robo. Welcome back to Doomed, where we focus on internet connections that work. All right, yeah, oh my goodness, Lemira, please. Oh my God. Is it just me, or is it hot in this horrific party of which we are party to? Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for that. Just a strange little blip. As always, let me know if there's any sort of sound and or connection issue as best you can. If you want to reach out to me via other networks and channels in case the chat doesn't seem to be responding or whatever, let me know. Otherwise, we'll get back into it. Where were we? Ah, yes, that's right. Someone who was listening to... Oh, no! That's... I love my stupid little scooshed head emotes. Thanks, Zen. I appreciate that, actually. I just posted in the Discord as well, just to let people know. Just a small little blip. We're good. Flames. Just a small little blip, I'm sure. This is fine. Oh, sorry. I just drank a coffee, not the way that a human does, but the way that Baby Yoda does. I don't know if everyone saw that. I was like, oh, this is fine. But I did this. So cute. God, I need to rewatch Mandalorian. I really do, actually. Okay. This isn't about the Mandalorian. This is about the artisan. Sefina Rousseau. Okay. Sefina is basically marching over. I know. Oh, jeez. Like, what else are you paying for? Do you know what I mean? Sorry, I shouldn't. Don't joke about that. She's marching over to deal with. Yeah, can we get some F's in chat, please? There it is. Oh, thanks, Navbot. I really appreciate that. Actually, I should set that up automatically so that it responds with an F if someone posts just an F. Okay! She's marching over to talk to Sebastian Moreau, the impassioned producer. One of the sycophants, one of the women, one of the people standing with Sebastian laughs extra loud. Nah, you know, this is the thing, Lemira. I'm not gonna bother. Normally I'm very picky about my editing, but because this is live, I'll just stitch these two recordings together. It's gonna be... It's really loud and totally unnecessary. Zesty, I did! Yay! I came back, and so did you, Zesty Artist! Hey! XST Artist! Are you Sefina Rousseau? The painter? The artist? I bet you are. Her eyes widened as she picked up the knife. So I mean, basically. Oh, tune in on Saturday afternoon, folks, barring any major changes to my living condition, which, you know, you never know. I should be streaming 3 to 5, and the Dr. Surgeon MD will be back with new adventures at the newly upgraded hospital, Barnard General. Very excited about that. Speaking of Zen's comment here, for those of you who haven't met the Dr. Surgeon MD, he's the OG on this channel, and he is pretty funny, I have to say. Anyway, so there's a young psychopath, a humanoid lunatic. After young psychopath engages you, either take a horror or they get +3 fight. Big oof. Now, I can think on my feet and get out of here, and I kind of think that's the right play right now. Because I have it, and at the very least, I'll end up somewhere where I can still do something which feels okay. So I'm gonna do that, actually, just for funsies. Because I want to deal with this guy, but I also feel like I can deal with the other guy. Oh, Kung Fu Fenris, hello! Welcome to Doomed. Quick sum up of what's been going on in case you're interested. Sefina Rousseau is here in her finest attire at the cast party for the King in Yellow. She made a beeline straight for the costume designer to speak with her, learned all of her secrets in the horrible, creepy dining room filled with blood and guts and moldy vegetables. Went back to the ballroom, started listening to a mysterious song from the singer until Diane Devine came and locked her away. Not literally, but figuratively speaking. Now Seth's in the courtyard where she was trying to talk to the producer before a young psychopath appeared. Someone who has been just taken over by a malevolent spirit. It's a good point, Kung Fu Fenris. The question is, how do they deal with the black and whitedness? That's the question. This is 1920 something. Now, do I want to think on my feet or do I want to just deal with this psychopath? I could also just deal with them, right? Take a horror and just deal with it? Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, zesty. It's very possible. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So, I'm gonna, instead of thinking on my feet for now, I'm going to take a horror. And so the young psychopath runs at Sefina and she screams, but nobody seems to notice. In fact, there's a few ripples of laughter as the guests just kind of think they're playing a fun game and go back to listening to Sebastian's impassioned declamations. Declamatory. Are you okay, Scott? What a guy. All right. We're back into the investigation phase. First things first, we gain a resource from Lone Wolf, but we have to deal with this psychopath. This person is hurtling at us with a knife, and we absolutely need them to be dealt with. So first things first, we're gonna shrivel. I'm a 4 on 2. Is that enough? It's gonna have to be. Yes, it is! Sefina, having just tested the power coursing through her veins, hopes to whatever her deity is that she can do this, and just flicks her wrist. Out shoots gouts of color, the most vibrant colors she's never painted with. And as they cover the young psychopath, the scream quickly vanishes into the mist as the woman's body simply turns to dust. Discard. Wow, that was effective. Second action, I'm gonna play Leo Jaluka, who is not here with us. This is the criminal that we met in the Ward Theater. Sefina has kept a relationship, actually, with Leo since that time. I mean, it's only been, a few hours, really, but he went off in a different direction, promising that, hey, we're in this together, sister. And went off to find out as much information as he could. He promised to help her in any way possible, and that general help is going to lead her to gain an extra action every turn. But specifically, right now, it's giving her a bit more information about Sebastian Moreau. Hopefully, she can get what she needs out of him. Now, I realize if I take one clue off Sebastian, then Diane, I can technically move her. Then I can go back to the ballroom and finish taking clues off Ashley. Oh, but then I will never get the clues off Sebastian. I think Ashley's just a lost cause at this point. Yeah, 2 actions to get 2 clues off of Sebastian Moreau. I say we go for it. Now that she's managed to dust someone that was coming to attack her, Sefina's going to use the dirt she has from Leo to try to cozy up to Sebastian. I'm testing Will 3, I think. Parlay, test Will 3 to get information about the production from Sebastian. I have 4 Will, and I think I'll just start putting icons into it. Yeah, seems like a decent idea. Let's test 5. Skull. Reveal another token. Place a doom on a lunatic. I don't think there's any lunatics in play, but I will reveal another token. -3. the Tagagan. Sorry, Zesty? You okay? Oh, tag. No, I don't get it. Any lunatic enemies in play? There's no enemies in play at all, right? So no. Okay, so we just failed. That's too bad. Last action. I guess I'll just test again at this point. Oh, I see. But no need for that, Zesty. I think we're in enough trouble as it is. +1. Take a clue off Sebastian. Okay, so that's another clue. That's good. That's good news. In the enemy phase, Diane either is going to continue guarding Ashley Clark closely with her secrets, or she's going to rush out to the courtyard and try to lock down Sebastian Moreau. It says, find the bystander with the fewest clues among bystanders with at least one and move Diane to that asset's location. There's one on each, so I'm going to say that she's going to stay here with Ashley. And Upkeep hopefully brings us something useful, please. It's an Aeroscape. That's fine. That's a good card. We now have 4 actions. Leo DeLuca getting us that... Zesty, you know I have to read everything that appears in chat. But now I can't because I don't want to die. In the Mythos phase, we go out of... Excuse me. In the Mythos phase, we go to 2 out of 3 Doom. We're almost at those sickening realities, folks. But what could they be? And just gonna shuffle the deck here as I note another young psychopath. Now that she started talking to Sebastian Moreau, he's got a glint in his eye as he realizes that Seth is more than an intellectual match for him, and they're bandying stuff back and forth until Seth spies out of the corner of her eye the woman that she could have sworn she somehow turned into dust just moments ago, still in the crowd, still laughing a bit too broadly, and once again drawing a knife and rushing towards her. So, now do I want to think on my feet and just GTFO? I don't actually, because I won't be able to do anything in the next room. I could just evade this young psychopath, though. In his house at Relia, dead Cthulhu waits, dreaming. Ooh, it's so spooky. Oh, Lemira, it's just not the right time, but it's such a fun card. I love it. Think on your feet says, just FYI, it says, play when an enemy would spawn at your location, move. So basically the card says, oh, an enemy? Nope! And you just get out of there. Oh, good point, Kung Fu Fenders. And as we all know, the Dr. Surgeon has no feet. So there's that too. But I think what I want to do is get as many of these bystanders, turned over as possible, if you know what I mean. So I think we're gonna... I'm not gonna take another horror. I'm gonna evade. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna give this... Oh my. I'm gonna give this psychopath +3 damage. And I'm gonna put a resource on them to represent that. So, young psychopath gets +3 fight until the end of the investigation phase. So I'm not gonna try to fight them. I'm just gonna try to get out of there. Okay. So, yeah, that's the Mythos phase, right? Because I spawned one of them. Enemies, am I right? So the young psychopath again is hurtling. It looks exactly like the same person as before, but that's not possible. Seth thinks to herself shortly before the knife is at the level of her eyes. First action, we're gonna deal with... First action, we're gonna talk to Sebastian. Yeah, why not, right? I guess we should evade first, hey? We should try to evade. So we're gonna evade this sucker. I have 4 evade, and I'm gonna commit narrow escape, so I'm a 6 on 3. So Seth is actually just trying to duck out of the way of the psychopath so she can keep talking to... she's doing this great thing where she's trying to sort of like turn Sebastian around to like always be between her and the person with the gleaming eyes and the knife just over the shoulder. So I'm gonna test 6 on 3 to reveal another token. -1, good, evaded. So the psychopath is, for now, unable to get to us. 1 resource from the lone wolf, sorry, and pickpocketing says I can draw a card. So what happened here? Seth managed to turn Sebastian gently to keep the person behind him out of line of sight. And as she laughs, she slips her hand into Sebastian's pocket, withdrawing a small notebook. She thinks to herself, I'll keep that for later. That was pretty good. So big evade, nice pickpocket. We got something in our pocket now. Second action, we're gonna parlay. We're gonna talk. Because Sebastian Moreau knows more than he's letting on. I'm guaranteeing it. Am I throwing in this word of protection? Word of protection seems really good. I'm throwing it in. 5. Whoa! Elder Sign! So, Elder Sign, again, is huge. It's +3, and I can draw a card from beneath Sefina, so I will definitely be doing that. Let's take this Borkstorm. No. Yes. Very much yes, actually. Okay. Alright, Lamira. Story time. Those of you watching on the VOD, you can skip ahead about 60 seconds, I imagine. Maybe 30, doesn't matter. So yes is the short answer. The longer answer is, for some time now, for some time, John used to be a big fan of the Airhorn app. And would play it at a lot of opportunities, right? And, you know, I started to do sort of as similarly as I could, you know, which is okay. Sounds a bit like a weird sort of trumpet thing. But then, Series 7 of Taskmaster. If you haven't seen Taskmaster, I talk about it every time I'm Punchy. Go watch it. It's great. It's funny. It's just what we need right now. Good lord. There's a competitor on Series 7 who is the weirdest human being. Very Jess Files. If you know Jess Files from Full Party. Or from any of our one-shots on RPG Clinic. Lovely, lovely human being. But Jessica Knappett from Series 7 of Taskmaster at one point has to make her best sound. She makes this weird combination of sounds, but she includes her version of an air horn, which is that, basically. Anyway, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. My Doomed Talk. What are we doing? Right, we were talking to Sebastian. Well, stealing the shit out of his pocket seems to have helped, so we're gonna take the last clue off of him. Flip him to... Thank you, Lamira. The first show. You can tell Sebastian is a dramatic man from the way he speaks about tonight's production. Better than last year, indeed. The best I've ever seen. You ask him whether this was the first performance of The King in Yellow he'd helped produce, and he shakes his head in vigorous disagreement. No, of course not. We've done many shows before. Paris, Florence, New York. You know. Why, this isn't even the first time the play's been performed in Arkham. Surprised, you question him further. Well, all right, if you must know, I had nothing to do with the previous show in Arkham. 'Twas several decades ago, before Ward Theatre was even built. In fact, part of Mr. Ingram's goal tonight was to bring the story of The King in Yellow to a wider audience. Remember that you interviewed Sebastian. Flip this card back over. So Sebastian has given us, well, some clues, which is useful, because that's what we're supposed to be getting. But also, he's given us very specifically information that this isn't the first production of The King in Yellow in Arkham. One was, quote, several decades ago. I imagine Sefina can't really act on Ishimaru's information about the stranger with the mask and what the sign was, although she has a copy of it now, which is useful. But she can act on this information from Sebastian, and she's ecstatic. Still have some cards here, which is good. We still have 2 actions as well, which is great. I could try to just deal with this psychopath, but they have 5 fights, so we're not going to bother. We're just going to go. We're going to get out of here. Right? Yeah. Third action move. Seth's done in the courtyard. She slinks off into the night as Sebastian guffaws, and the woman with the knife behind him looks around for Sefina with wide eyes. It's the living room. Cigarette smoke and the sounds of idle chatter drift out of the manor's living room. You feel warmth behind the door. This is a 3-shroud, 0-clue location. How many fireplaces does this place have? More than one? After you perform a parlay action in the living room, draw a card. That's good. This is going to be a wild point here, folks, but drawing cards in a card game, pretty good. Better than you might think. Sefina moves out of the courtyard back into the living room, hoping to find someone else to interview, and stumbles across Jordan Perry, the dignified financier, someone who helped fund this production of The King in Yellow. Time is money, and Mr. Perry has all the time in the world. This is someone else that Leo DeLuca has given Sefina some intelligence on. It turns out not all of his financing is purely above board, and Leo knows all about those transactions, giving her some blackmail material, shall we say. We're going to try to parlay. If I have 10 or more resources, parlay, test intellect 2. I do have 10 or more resources, so I'm going to parlay, and I'm going to, I'm going to commit this elusive. I'm going to try. So she's going to try talking to Jordan Perry, just leading in really subtly, just trying to, you know, get him to warm up a little bit before she drops some of the bombs about some of his less savory activities. After you perform a parlay action, I can draw a card, but I will perform it first by testing 3 versus 2. Oh. Ooh! Okay, so that's a big fail, and the skull means place a doom on a lunatic enemy. Sefina doesn't know this, but outside, the young psychopath is coming for her. Hey, Sefina? Hey, Sefina! Hey, Graspy Loot, how you doing? Welcome to Doomed! If you haven't been, Graspy Loot, solo playthroughs through Arkham Horror, the card game with a focus on roleplay and storytelling. I'm gonna give you the Coles notes, because I'm doing it for everybody as they join the chat, and I'm loving it. I'm having a great time, despite some weird technical issues earlier. The Doom's actually not the worst thing in the world here. Could be a lot worse. Sefina Rousseau has arrived here at the cast party for The King in Yellow after having experienced some absolutely crazy shit at the Ward Theater. Yeah, Graspy Loot, I love this game. And I've been doing Doomed as a series for quite some time now on YouTube. Decided to stream some of them, because I love them so much. I don't get a chance to play in person. I don't own many of the cards. I have a friend who does, but we can't really see each other at the moment, so this is kind of how I get my jollies, so to speak, Lamyra, so to speak. And I'm very excited to be playing. Oh, and I get to draw a card from the parlay, so I'll just do that really quickly. It's another Painted World. That's a great card. So, Sefina arrived, just very briefly, she arrived here at the manor, right over to the dining room where she was able to just charismatically engage Ishimaru Haruko in conversation, learn everything she had to say, went back to the ballroom, tried to listen to Ashley Clark the singer before someone came to hide her away. Moved out into the courtyard where she found out things from Sebastian Moreau, whilst a crazed psychopath is coming for her, and is now in the living room where she's attempting to speak with the financier. That one's going to be a bit tough, actually. In the enemy phase, nothing happens. In the upkeep phase, we ready all of our various things here, and the young psychopath also is ready to get us. Now, she's right in the middle of the board, which sucks. Like, she's ready to shank, you know what I mean? Shank you very much. Let's draw a card and gain a resource. Delve too deep. That's a good card. I want to point this card out because it's one of the other cards that has a restriction placed on it in the totally optional tabooed version of Arkham Horror. Thank you for reminding me, Zesty. That was only until the end of the investigation phase. Oof, thanks for reminding me. Although it does happen every time she gets you, so theoretically I could maybe like go and evade her again and then keep moving. I don't know. Certain cards are, especially from the core set of Arkham, are considered very powerful and kind of like no-brainers. And because this isn't a competitive game, FFG doesn't release new versions of them because why bother? It's a cooperative game. Play how you want to play. You don't want to use the card, don't use the card. You want to use the card, use the card. Who cares? But they did release tabooed versions of them to sort of balance the game, but it's totally optional. Great example of this I'm throwing in here. Elusive. Elusive is an amazing card. They made it cost experience in the tabooed version. Delve Too Deep is another great version. Delve Too Deep in the tabooed version says max 2, and you'll see why in a second. In player order, each investigator draws a card from the encounter deck. Then, Delve Too Deep goes into the victory display, victory 1. Everyone in the game has to draw an encounter card, which are all bad stuff tokens, bad stuff cards. However, victory 1, and you don't even have to do anything other than pull a card, which is probably going to hurt you a little bit. Pretty powerful, especially if you're playing someone who has the ability to, I don't know, cancel cards from the encounter deck. It's just really good. One experience? One experience is a lot of experience in Arkham. Okay, I'm just saying. Hey, we're getting off topic. Let's get back to role-playing, shall we? We're going to the Mythos Phase, where we remove all Doom in play because we've hit the Doom threshold. Resolve one of the sickening reality cards underneath the scenario reference. If y'all are still here, this is where this is getting real dangerous. I pulled one from the top. It's so good to see you again. Oh, I'm sorry, I know who this is. It's so good to see you again. The woman in the yellow dress speaks fondly and quietly to one of the other guests, like they're old friends, just seeing each other for the first time in years. Diane's voice is soothing at first. There lies within it an undercurrent of something else, something primal, something menacing. I trust you've held fast to our promise. You don't catch their reply, but Diane's smile spreads into a manic grin. Yikes, her skin begins to bubble and boil as though there is something hidden beneath the surface threatening to escape. Oh, is that so? She turns directly towards you, her eyes ablaze with fury. Is that so? Each investigator at her location takes a horror, that's fine. Flip this card to its enemy side and switch it with Diane Devine! Diane Devine, who has been trying to keep Ashley Clark safe, has had enough of Sefina's crap and has become this amazing business. If anyone knows Drag Race, this looks exactly like, oh my god, Manila Luzon. Anyway, Diane Devine knows what you're up to. So she's had it with this, like, trying to protect people shit. She knows you've already spoken to 2 of the most important people here. She's coming for you. She's a 4/3/2. Monster, cultist, lunatic, elite. Preys on the most clues, that's me. She's a hunter. She has +3 health, so she's actually a 4/6/2. 4 fight, 6 health, 2 evade. After any investigator performs a parlay action, Diane Devine moves once towards them. That's crap. So she's coming for us, and we need to do something about it. I should go for some heavy backstabs, I think. Let's draw an encounter card. As per the Mythos Phase. Test willpower 2. If you fail, take 2 horror. That sucks. Just straight up, eh? Nothing really I can do about that. I could use one of my painted worlds. But I don't think I want to right now. Yeah, let's just test it. Fantastic. Sefina can see across the courtyard something horrific happening to Diane Devine as she somehow is able to stare out through the window across the courtyard straight into the living room and locks eyes with Sefina as she explodes in tendrils of flesh and boils and, well, just horrificness. She's coming for her. And She knows that, she sees as well that Diane's skin, her flesh, is marked by the same sign that she saw at the Ward Theater, and it doesn't frighten her too much, but she knows there's, again, some connection. She is hiding something from them. All right, investigation phase. Yeah, I know, Lamira, it's bad, eh? It's spooky. Look how spooky she is. Okay, this is tricky. I want to deal with Diane. I also want to deal with Jordan Perry, and I want to play this Delve. I don't have any intellect icons, really. Double backstab. Oh, sorry, at the beginning of my turn, I'm a lone wolf! She's just stealing shit from people's pockets as she's talking around. She wasn't able to speak with, this guy. What is his name? She wasn't able to speak with Jordan Perry, but she's gonna try again, I think. Not a lot of intellect icons is the only problem. I wonder if I should do something about that. Ooh, Intel Report has 2. Just thinking here, how does she want to do this? Yeah, we want to get clues, right? That's the goal of the game. Sefina's gonna pull the. Oh, I can use an action to draw an event. Sefina's gonna use her knowledge of Jordan Perry from Leo DeLuca, the criminal, to try to get him to open up. Instead of her polite overtures that clearly didn't work, he just grunts and looks away, knowing better than to talk to anybody. She, instead, is going to take the direct approach, sits down next to him. Hello, Mr. Perry. How are your creditors? I'm going to test, I'm going to parlay, sorry. I'm going to try to speak with him now that I've threatened his life. I'm going to, do I have more than 10 resources? Yep. I'm going to test Intellect 2. Of which I have 2, and I'm going to commit this intel report. Diane Devine moves towards her. And let's do it. So I'm a 4v2. Nope. He just stares daggers back at her. They're satisfied. Is there anything else you need, madam? Tough nut to crack! That sucks. Okay. If I try to parlay again, Diane will move in, and then I can try to evade her at least. And then maybe I can just deal with her next turn, and just spend the whole turn just trying to deal with her next turn. That seems okay, right? Let's do it. We're gonna parlay again. She's gonna just try one last time, desperately pleading with him to listen. That's a skull, and that's a -1, so that's a no-go. Oh, that's really too bad. I place a doom on a lunatic. Well, I gotta place the doom on Diane. Because I parlayed again, Diane moves closer and is now here. So she's scary. She's terrifying! Instead of trying to hit her, I'm gonna just try to duck away from her by evading. I have 4 evasion. That's okay. That's like a good amount. Yeah. Let's just try to evade. -1, good, evaded. So, she pickpockets Jordan on her way out of the room and manages to draw a book. It's called How to Pickpocket in 2 Easy Steps. I'm kidding. Step 1, pocket. Step 2, pick it. I'm just kidding around. So, the monstrous beast that was once known as Diane Devine? It should be Diane Devine, right? But I've never seen Diane with 2 N's like that. I know. Am I... Lamira is funny, right? It's pretty funny. Thanks for coming, Lamira. Thanks for being here. It's all good. So I have failed several times to deal with Jordan, which sucks. I've got 2 of them already. So that's okay. If I can deal with Diane, I can go back and finish listening to Ashley Clark's ridiculous song. So that might be useful as well. She's tried the direct approach. Jordan Perry is just not having any of it, but she manages to slip a notebook out of his pocket as well on her way out. In the enemy phase, nothing happens because the only hunter is already here. But in the upkeep phase, Diane readies, as do we. We're ready to deal with her. Shit. We draw a card and gain a resource. And then I think I have more than, 8 cards in hand, so I'm gonna drop something. I drop this pickpocketing because I don't need it. Okay, Mythos Phase. That's 2 out of 3 doom because I have 1 in play. Oh, I need to deal with her this turn. Aw, freak out. Yeah, I need to deal with her this turn. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough, but we're gonna try to do it. We're also gonna draw an encounter card right here in the living room. The Pale Mask beckons. If the man in the Pallid Mask is not in play, search the bearer's deck and discard pile for him. Draw him. Where is it? Here he is. So, suddenly, a glimpse of a pure snow-white mask across the courtyard. Sefina knows who that is. He's here. This is, of course, the man in the Pallid Mask, who spawns at the location furthest from all investigators. That's gotta be up here in the dining room. She sees him stalk into the dining room where she knows Ishimaru Haruko certainly was. Ideally, you defeat him as many times as possible. If you have more, every time you defeat him, you get another tally under Chasing the Stranger. I have 0. Normally, you have maybe 2 by this point, but, generally you need a whole bunch. I can't remember what it does in the campaign. It does something for you, but there's just no way. I'm not getting back over. I mean, I could actually. I guess I could try. There, we could try. But bigger fish, because we are staring down a monster. Having Lone Wolf, having left Jordan Perry behind, Seth is right in on Diane Devine, who is ready to just, I don't know, eat her face or something. It's really horrible. I think I want to spend this whole turn trying to defeat her. 2 big backstabs will do it, because backstab deals a lot of damage. But we need to make sure that she can't hurt us, so I'm going to try to evade first. I'm a 4, and I'll throw in this quick thinking to be 5 on 2. -1, good. Succeeded by 2 or more. I'm going to take another action. So, thinking quickly. Ding. Thinking quickly, Sefina ducks. Oh, thanks, Zesty. That's nice. Do you mean that the game is good, or do you mean that I'm good for playing the game? I mean, you can say either. It's fine. Just have to up my exposure a little bit here. He's so exposed. He's fine. Thinking quickly, Sefina ducks down into one of the side rooms as the tendrils from Diane's If you're watching on the VOD and you don't understand why I'm laughing, the reason I'm laughing is not that I pulled the tentacle token, it's because Zesty! Magic the Gathering's got nothing on this. What, because I'm good? Sorry, who are you? Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Thinking quickly! Sefina ducks down into one of the small sort of rooms off the corridor as the tendrils kind of snake out towards her, trying to grab her ankles. She's gonna wait here for Diane to pass by and then hope to get the drop on her. So we get to take an extra action because of quick thinking, which is muy bueno. Pickpocketing also fires, so we get to draw a card. It's my fine clothes! Folks, this is the card I wish I had at the beginning. It says reduce the difficulty of all parlays by 2. It's like super strong. There's nothing quite like the feel of silk against your skin. So either Seth isn't wearing fine clothes, or she's gonna go and steal someone's even finer clothes. Finally, we found them. However, this isn't the point. The point is, it's either 3 shrivelings or 2 backstabs. Let's go for some backstabs, shall we? We're gonna try to stab Diane Devine in the back, which sounds horrible. And it is. Let's go in 6 on 4. I wish I had a bit more damage or something, but there's only so much to be done. There's only so many, you have to take some risks from time to time, right? She has 4 combat, so I'm gonna try backstabbing her at a 6. -2, just made it! That's 3 damage. Diane Devine throws the closet door open where she's sure she saw Sefina duck inside. The artist, being quick of mind and feet, actually doubled back. She only made it look like she was ducking into that broom closet. She leaps onto Diane, pushing her down into the closet and using the switchblade that she carries with her in her purse. Managed to get a good shank in on the beast, the creature that used to be the guest of honor. And again, I think we're gonna try it, folks. We're gonna I guess we gotta try, right? We're gonna try to backstab again, and this time 4 on 4. No bueno. Let's 5 on 4. 6, 7. Sorry, 5, 6, 7 on 4. I'll try again. -1. Excellent. Okay, bit of overkill, but that's absolutely okay. Sefina doesn't have she has a criminal upbringing, you know, she's been an art forger for a long time, but she's not someone who's involved in bank robberies or, oh, I know. Thanks, Lamira. Sefina's an absolute pro. As apt with a paintbrush as she is with a switchblade. Sefina's not a hardened criminal who's done years in the clink and has, you know, like killed 20 people or whatever, but she absolutely knows how to deal with a monster. And she keeps stabbing until the beast is still. Carnaging, hello! Wow, look at that emote. God, I love it. I'm jealous. Hello. We got Diane! Hooray! Clap, 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 clap. What's great quick thinking there, Sefina? I think we're gonna put down our fine clothes. And then I guess we can use our parlay. Well, we can't parlay with Jordan anymore, and we can't parlay with Constance either. Ooh, it's actually really tough. Maybe we don't want the fine clothes after all. Oh, it's so useless now. Have I used all of my caches? 1, but not both. Yeah, that's too bad. Okay, so there's more money in my deck somewhere, so maybe I just do put 1 down and wait for the best. Or we do the potentially very smart thing. I'm gonna delve too deep. Ooh, I'm excited about this, folks! Sefina has, you know, through her quick thinking and her backstab, she's dealt with the beast known as Diane Devine, or the artist formerly known as Diane Devine. But she is just too curious. What has that... She's been trying to keep things from Sefina, or perhaps other guests, all night. She must be part of something bigger. The sign, trying to keep information from Sefina, the strange marking on her chest and around the necklace on her neck. Necklace on her neck. Anyway, Sefina is delving too deep. She wants to know... Look at that art. It's just horrible. She wants to know what exactly the connection is between these two things. And is it just her that's serving a darker purpose, or is it a whole cult? I'm drawing the top card of the encounter deck, and then this becomes a victory point in the victory display. Oh, tough crowd! Now, this art is hilarious. Look at that, like, skeletal figure in the front. It goes next to the agenda deck. Each investigator must spend an additional action to parlay, but at the end of the round, discard it. Cool. So I can't parlay this round, but that's okay, because I don't really care. Last action. Last action? Wait. Oh, Zesty. You see, you smell you something. You smell you something fishy, Zesty. Last action. Sefina has perhaps delved a bit too deep. She's gonna take the dress right off of Diane's monstrous figure. Fits her to a T. She's hoping that with this beautiful golden yellow dress that she's now wearing, she'll be able to get a bit more information out of people. It might be in vain. We're not sure. I know. Monstrous figure. What? Right. Right. Lemire and I are on the same wavelength, guys. Don't worry. Oh, that's such a... Oh God, I love those little emotes. They're so cute. Okay. However, by putting on Diane's dress, she's, gathered the ire of the crowd here, who, while they didn't see what happened to her, is wondering why this woman that they don't know is... why this person is wearing the exact same dress that only Diane could possibly pull off. It's our last action. Enemy phase, again, the psychopath doesn't go anywhere, so that's good. We're gonna ready our pickpocketing. We're gonna ready all of our tokens. I can't believe we defeated her. I'm so happy. Upkeep, we draw a sneak attack. Me, I'll get you. Me. That feels very Seth to me as well. Just like, not gonna fight. She's just gonna try to sneak attack. We go to, again, oh, and this tough crowd just gets discarded. We go to 2 out of 3 Doom in the Terrifying Truth. And we draw an encounter card. Dance of the Yellow King. If there are no lunatic enemies in play, it gains Surge. There is, though. It's the young psychopath. It's time. She knows. Something is beamed into her mind. She knows something is happening. Test Will 3. If you fail, the nearest lunatic enemy's readies, moves, and attacks you. Ooh, nothing I can do about that. That is unfortunate. Sneak attack will be helpful here, as will Shriveling. The Dance of the Yellow King. This is who or whatever the Yellow King is. I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. Whoever or whatever. Yeah, Kung Fu Fenris, so it's a very... Sorry, I'm gonna just get in... No, I'll finish this thought first. Whoever or whatever the Yellow King is puppeting the mind of this psychopath. Thank you very much, Myra. As they march them closer to Sefina. Sefina, who is trying to uncover the horrible truth. Kung Fu Fenris. It's a co-op game, so it's meant to be played, 2 to 4, or 1 to 4, I guess. And it is more fun. I had a really good time playing a campaign, because it's a lot of table talk. You can't say what you have in your hand or whatever, but like, a lot of the cards are perils, so you can't tell them what you pulled either. You're just like, you have to do it, But I love playing the game solo too. I've even played a lot of these campaigns with multiple different investigators. I control them all, so it's a little cheap. But I'm enjoying Doomed for that reason. It's a cool game, and I love it. Okay, I'm testing Will 3, and I can't do anything about it. So here it comes. Whee! Up! Bah! I have 4 Will, -1 is 3. So the Dance of the Yellow King fails? It's not that it fails. It's just that Sefina's mental prowess is so strong that she is able to force that presence from her mind and block out her location from any would-be people who are coming to get her. We move back into the investigation phase, where I gain a resource for being a lone wolf. Okay, time to evaluate here. Time to evaluate. We've got 5 clues. Seems okay. I can get the last clue off Ashley, which seems really useful, because she's almost the entertainer. It's just almost there. It's going to be very useful, I think. I can get a clue off the foyer, hopefully. I don't want to go back to the courtyard. Constance, it's just not going to happen because there's 2 party guests. Jordan, it's not going to happen because I need 10 or more resources. Although the fine clothes now means... Ooh, actually, the fine clothes is really useful. It reduces parlay by 2, so Jordan Perry's test becomes a 0. So actually, this is going to be wild. I'm going to take 2 resources. 1, 2. Third action. Sefina is marching back into the living room. Jordan Perry looks up again. Eye contact. Parlay. He recognizes the woman who both tried to sweet-talk him and tried to blackmail him into giving up. Oh, they have to lack eyes to fail the parlay. Oh, right. Wait. Wait. Well, I wish to spell it the correct way, actually, Zesty. Well, that's rude, I'm sorry. It's only because I happen to speak French because of where I live. Like, it's so rude, I'm sorry. No, don't go, Zesty, don't go, I love you. I love you all, actually. Everybody watching this on the VOD, thanks. No, it's hardly savage. Now it's a little savage. Savage. He recognizes the woman who tried to, Zesty has left the chat. Okay, Lamira, I mean, it's your funeral. C'est ton funeral. I don't know what funeral is. I think it's actually funérailles. Anyway, petition for an offer. Put it in the Discord, Lamira. Someone will respond, I'm sure. Jordan recognizes this woman. Mon Dieu! Mais sacré bleu! Oh, God, it's too funny. Jordan Perry recognizes the woman who tried to blackmail him, but he also recognizes that somehow all of a sudden she's wearing this golden yellow dress. It seems to have power over him. Little does she know, of course, that the reason Diane was wearing it is because she was in service to the King in Yellow. Sefina doesn't really understand this, but somewhere deep down inside she instinctively understands the power of the clothes that the power of the garment that she's now wearing. Jordan Perry looks up, and suddenly he looks like he's ready to talk. We're gonna parlay. I'm gonna parlay. I'm gonna test. I have an intellect of 2, but it's against a difficulty of 0. Skull? -2, so that's 0 versus 0. I still pass. I get a clue off of Jordan. And we're gonna go one more time. +1, even better. Wow, huge success. Sefina, again, is instinctively aware of... I'm gonna put these clues somewhere else. Instinctively aware of the fact that the dress seems to have power over this man and uses it to great effect. And he opens right up. L'agneau perdu. Hey, it's French! Just for you, Myra. Mr. Perry is indifferent to your questions at first, but he grows more talkative as you express interest in his many investments. Using information from Leo, of course. You learn that he has financed several productions of The King in Yellow in the past, not just tonight's performance. It was the director, Mr. Ingram, who convinced me to invest, he explains. The first time I met him, he was in Paris, at the cafe in Montparnasse. What was the name? He ruminates for some time, trying to remember. Anyway, he convinced me that not every investment is about capital gain. One might consider me a fool to believe him, but I don't regret my decision. I've been financing his productions ever since. He smiles and pauses for some time, lost in memory. L'agneau perdu. That was the place. Yes. What a night. Zesty, my God. Good Lord. You are derailing the stream, and I couldn't be happier about it. Keep it up, folks. You're all great. You're all wonderful people. So what did we learn? We learned that the director, Mr. Nigel Ingram, was the person who persuaded him to invest at a cafe in Montparnasse. Might be useful one day. You never know. So that's another whole person we've interviewed. Congratulations, everybody! We're doing the thing. No, Grasspeeler, it's okay. I think we're okay. So again, in the enemy phase, the young psychopath is just like running around the courtyard, just screaming. The man in the pallid mask is way the hell over here. Ashley Clark still has 1 clue on her. I think I want to go get it. Move to Upkeep. We draw a card and gain a resource. It's the last painted world. That's great news, he said, hoping against hope. Oh, because we reach the end of the terrifying truth. Remove all doom from play and randomly resolve a sickening reality card. Uh-oh. Now that Sefina's wearing this dress, it's of course, it's offered her this power over some of the people here, but it's also attracting attention. And potentially not the kind of attention she wants. Oh, fuck. Encore! Encore! The crowd shouts as Ashley finishes her final song of the night. Deciding to stay for one last number, she nods to the pianist. The song that follows is excruciating. Never mind, I was gonna say something about Yoko Ono. Rude. Her once beautiful voice is now a wailing screech with unnatural pitch. Her skin has tightened hideously around her bones, and insects begin to eat their way out of her arms and shoulders, crawling over her body. The crowd is loving this final performance. Everyone is taking a horror at her location. We're not there, it's okay. Move each clue from Ashley to her location. But I'm not getting it, that's for sure. Flip this to an enemy side and remove this from the game. Let's have a look. What does Ashley Clark look like now? Oh, that's not as scary as I thought. The description was much worse. Ugh. Is that like an incision, but X? Oh, ew, oh, zesty yell. It's true. Ashley Clark, songs die unheard. It says, songs that the Hyades shall sing, where flap the tatters of the king, must die unheard in dim Carcosa. She's a hunter. Investigators at her location don't draw cards during the upkeep phase. She's a 2/5/4, so it's hard to get away from her, but it's pretty easy to fight her. That's less good, actually. Maybe we're just gonna go. This might be the end of the scenario, guys. That's scary. Damn. That was the last clue I really wanted. In the Mythos phase as well. Oh, we draw an encounter card. Shocking display. Oh, no. Oh, no. This says, randomly resolve a sickening reality card. Cannot be canceled. Okay, so clearly this dress has done a lot. Diane Devine's ward, Ashley Clark, has turned into a horrible monster, as has someone else. Oh no, it is! It's Sebastian Moreau! Sebastian's passionate debate with another guest turns ugly. His temper transforms not just his demeanor, but his body as well. Thick fur sprouts from his skin, along with several bulbous growths that leak pus and blood. His suit tears as his body distorts, bones snapping and muscles bulging. He is as much beast as he is man. Flip these cards to his enemy side. Switch it with the bystander version. Let's look at him. He's a beast! He does 2 damage and 2 horror. Want to be in our next performance. I feel like John would have done that better. He's a 3/5/3. He's a hunter and a retaliate. Can't cancel his attacks. No dodging this beast. It's coming for you. Okay, so literally, just all of a sudden, by speaking with Jordan in this dress, radiating this power, she was able to keep out the King in Yellow, but both Ashley Clark and Sebastian Moreau, Songs Die Unheard and Savage Hysteria, respectively, have both become absolutely bestial as we move back into the investigation phase. So the point of the scenario is get as many clues as you can and get out. Objective, find as many clues as you can and get out of this awful place. Ideally, I'd get the clue off the ballroom. I'd get the clues on Constance, so I could flip Constance. I would try to clear the man in the pallid mask. None of this matters. I have 2 huge beasts that I can only get away from so many times. So I think the best bet as we start and gain a resource from the Lone Wolf, Sefina understands when she's outstayed her welcome. She's going to... Just thinking about this for a second. Pay to play elusive. gives me 4 actions. That would be 3. Draw, test. Yeah, okay. Just thinking about what I want to do here. Seeing, oh, whoops, this gets removed from the game. Seeing the shape of Sebastian morphing out in the courtyard and seeing or hearing the strains of Ashley's voice turning into horrific shrieks and shrill cries. Sefina realizes it's time to be on her way. She's really outstayed her welcome. She is elusive, so I painted an elusive. She quickly turns around to the beautiful wallpapered wall and begins to scrawl a drawing of herself. It's a very rough sketch, but it's a rough sketch of herself leaving. And when she turns around, she's there. She's in the parlor. Elusive says fast, disengage from each enemy and move to a revealed location. It's really good when you have enemies with you because you can just be like, gone! But in this case, it's a free move for 2 resources, so I'll take it. So first and second actions, I'm gonna draw the elusive, and I'm gonna draw the slip away. Third action, we're gonna try to get the clue off this location. It's a 2-shroud location. She realizes the beasts are still after her, but here in the foyer, she is gonna just try one last-ditch effort. She's gonna turn to the doorman on her way out and see if he can tell her anything about other productions of The King in Yellow that have happened here in Arkham. Her interest was piqued by Sebastian Moreau, and she's gonna see, excuse me, do you know anything about where I can find out about other versions of The King in Yellow? I have 2 intellect. I'm gonna commit this, and this. They all have an intellect icon on them, so that's 3. So I'm at 5 versus 2. Skull, +1. One more clue. Excellent. And then last action, resign. We did it, everyone. We made it. So the Ashley Clark and Sebastian like hunt down and yeah, it's something like that. The psychopath's still here. The huzzah! Let's go and read our, oh, sorry, I have to, well, anyway, all these clues technically get left on the act, but thanks, Lamira, but actually they don't, because I'll just remember how many it was. Let's move on to the resolution, because I think we're gonna like this. If no resolution was reached, and at least 1 investigator resigned, resolution 1. The brisk autumn air embraces you as you exit the manor. There is no doubt in your mind that the cast and the crew of The King in Yellow have become affected by madness. Boldoi. Perhaps it's getting to you as well. You feel an encroaching darkness, a presence in your mind not unlike the gaze of the stranger. Startled, you peer about the front yard for the first time since escaping the manor. The scene is different. The front windows are not smashed as they were when you first approached. The trail of blood you had noticed on the porch has been wiped clean, and instead of the disturbingly warped music you heard upon entering, the soothing tones of slow jazz drift out from the courtyard. Was it all just a weird dream, I wonder? Under VIP's interview, record the name of each character you interviewed. Under VIP's slain, record all the ones that you killed. So Diane is here. She's slain. I interviewed Ashley, Ishimaru, Sebastian, and Jordan. Holy crap, guys, we did great. I didn't get Constance. We did effing great, guys. Really, wow, good job, folks. Each investigator earns experience equal to victory X, that's 2. For every 2 clues on the act deck when the game ended, choose an investigator, I'll choose me, to earn an additional experience point. Yeah, Kung Fu Fenris. Kung Fu Fenris not quite, because if I had gotten all 5 of the bystanders, I think you get maybe an additional reward or whatever. But I am going to gain 6 experience, and we got 4 of the 5 interviewed. So that's about, honestly, and I didn't get defeated. So it's about as good as we're going to do. I will make a note of these things in my campaign log, but I won't do that on the stream because I don't want to bore you. Proceed to Lunacy's Reward. Folks, I'm going to probably put this in the chat. The investigators must decide. Choose one. Actually, I'm going to do this right now. There is, for those of you who are here, I can't promise that I'm gonna take your advice, but we'll see how it goes. We have a choice now, so I'm putting it to a vote. All right, I'm gonna read the options as I say that they're here. Things seem to have calmed down. Perhaps we should go back inside and investigate further. I don't trust this place one bit. Let's block the door and get the hell out of here. If these people are allowed to live, these horrors will only repeat themselves. We have to put an end to this. We have to kill them. So, we have to choose one of these options, and then we're going to Lunacy's Reward, which strikes me as it's probably not going to be a reward, but we'll see. I have an idea of what seems the most safe approach. If anyone wants to vote on this, feel free, exclamation mark, vote 0, 1, or 2. I have an idea of what I think seems the most appropriate, but I'm curious if there's consensus in the chat as to what would be best for our role-playing here. Sefina arrived at the party, made a beeline for one of the people, spoke with them, listened to some music, managed to avoid getting attacked multiple times, interviewed so many people, killed Diane Devine, stabbed her right in the back, stole her dress, the power of it. All right, I'm gonna give people another few seconds, and then we're gonna take Lemira's vote. Actually, in the meantime, I am going to make a note of what happened in the scenario. Okay, okay, okay. I see some things happening here. This is scenario 2. I'm going to say 6 XP. I'm going to say Slade, Diane, Devine, interviewed. Oh boy. Okay, well, you know, whatever. No, this is perfect, guys. And, oh, how do I, oh, it's a poll, it's not a bet. Stop! Notify the people of the winning vote! It's block the door and run! So I actually wanted to say that's the option I wanted to choose. So thank you. I don't trust this place one bit. Let's block the door and get the hell out of here. Lunacy's Reward 2. You can't trust your senses. This is all a trick, an attempt to lure you back inside. You're no safer now than you were before. Swallowing your fear, you set to work barricading the front door of the manor using several of the heavy stone benches lining the cobblestone path in the front yard. You hope it's enough, but you aren't willing to stick around to find out. As soon as you're done, you head back to your vehicle and drive towards Southside, where you hope to find answers. Mobrulcracy. Mobrul. Aragwen! Have you been lurking all this time? Missed a great scenario, friend. How you doing, Aragwen? What's up? Okay. The note in the campaign log says, quote, that door isn't going to stop them. Oh, mob rule. That makes much more sense than mobrul. I was like, what is that? Dutch? What is that? Ridiculous. God, I'm dumb. All right. That door isn't going to stop them. Record that you fled the dinner party. And I'm going to write, fled the dinner party. Albeit a polite and quite well-educated mob, in my honest opinion. Remove all bland tokens from the bag and then add 2, what are those, tablets? So I'm going to write plus tab, so 2 tablets. Okay, so in the next scenario, we'll have 2 tablets in the bag, which are probably bad. The story continues in scenario 3, Echoes of the Past. Echoes of the Past is a scenario that a lot of people don't particularly love. We'll talk about that in a quick second. Ishimaru. I did not get Ashley, actually. Sorry, I only got 3 out of 5, I suppose. Oh, I forgot. I didn't get Ashley at all. Sebastian. Sebastian and Jordan fled the dinner party. 6 XP. Not the worst, folks. Here it comes. Back to the full screen. Yeah! Thank you very much, everybody, for joining me today on this, The Last King, on Doomed. Crosshair suggested today via Discord that I should potentially find a way to either do like a catch-up for Doomed, so that people can just kind of jump in at the beginning of this campaign, or somehow point people towards this in the playlist. Maybe to make a separate playlist. That's a smart idea. I hope you've all enjoyed today. I certainly have. I really enjoy playing Arkham, and frankly, I would play it by myself. I have played this game by myself on numerous occasions, with just like music in my headphones. I'm just like, It is cozy. Or do you mean this, Kung Fu Fenders? These weird alien spires behind me. What could it be? Who's that? Sefina Rousseau, I assume. Hey, rock on, Kung Fu Fenris. Ooh, exciting, Aragwen. What you drawing? Hey, Kung Fu, what you drawing? Yay, Aragwen, creepy in the dark. I love it. Folks, oh, thanks, Aravana. I will. Aravana, we are due to get another Chaos Kitty next Friday. Not this coming, but next. I'm very excited about that. No, next Thursday, sorry. Not this coming, but next. The 8th. I'm very excited about it. Ooh, let us know, Kung Fu Fenris. So folks, several things. Again, thank you for joining me. I as I said at the beginning of the stream, this is probably one of my favorite scenarios in Arkham. I just think it's so well done and so much fun to do and to play through. And we did really well, so I can actually chalk this up as a win. Technically, it's not a win, but it's a win in my books, and I'll take it. Also, Crosshair's not here to do usual bun PR stuff, but tomorrow at 4 p.m., it's Drew Crew, Elizabeth A. Neal. John may be streaming this week. Kate may be streaming this week. We might have an RPG clinic on Thursday. Punchy on Friday. Me on Saturday, but not me. No Echoes of the Past here. Yeah, wackos. Dr. Surgeon MD's back in town, because I'm excited to see how that goes. It's Carnage. It's fun to hang out with you, buddy. Yeah. Oh, it does! Oi, 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 oi. Well, keep going, Lamyra, and you might become a mod one day. Okay? Okay. It's so charming. Thank you. Yes, join the Discord if you aren't already a member, because it's a good time over there. We have a blast. And, of course, Star Wars Reach on Sunday. But yeah, I hope you're all able to join me on Saturday and join us throughout the week. For everyone is here and everyone is the best. So keep your toes on the ground, folks. I am going to end the recording and the stream at this point because it's been a long one and there was a weird break in the middle, so that'll be fun. Thank you all. Captain Daff's here. Oh my! Thank you all very much for joining me on today's episode of Doomed. It was fun. It was a great time, and I can't wait to see you all again on the next one. If I do them. Let me know on Discord if you want me to keep doing these live or via YouTube. I do both. Probably more fun live, frankly. It's probably more annoying to watch them. Thank you all very much. I had a blast. Take care of yourselves out there. It's a crazy world, and we need each other more than ever. So take care of each other. Let's get doomed.